And I'm Lindsay, and we're here to talk about that old kind of saying, the tortured artist, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
if anybody thinks you're going to the performing arts world, the performing arts industry, it's like, oh, it's a tough life. Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is a very
It is
tough
a
life.
very, very tough life. But there's also this idea of the tortured artist, that you just keep whittling away at your skill in a corner in a dark room in an attic somewhere until you get it absolutely perfect. And I think there's a real shift nowadays away from that, because it's not about perfection anymore. It's because perfection comes at a cost on that person's well-being.
Perfection doesn't exist.
And perfection doesn't
why,
exist. That's why it comes at such a cost.
It comes
Yeah.
at such a cost. Because
Yeah.
we strive for it. We've been taught over the years to strive for it.
But what is it?
But actually, we connect to the mistakes and we connect to that emotional connection through that way. And yeah, it's about having that freedom, that fluidity of music, or that freedom of voice, that freedom of expression. And if you're focusing and honing in so much on one area and torturing yourself in just that niche, you lose that freedom.
You lose freedom and you miss opportunities from other things as well. And I think with this idea of in years gone by in the past, you either did this, or you did this, or you did this, or you did this. There was very few that kind of crossed over, or you weren't really allowed to cross over. Well, if you were going down the musical route, well, then you'd go down that route more than the dance route. Or if you were a dancer, well, then you weren't really a singer, or you might do a little bit of singing on the side, or it was that kind of, you were kind of pigeonholed into one or the other. Whereas we've been chatting about this idea that actually, for the well-being of the performers in the industry, and to make it more of a successful option, because the options and opportunities out there are narrowing and reducing.
They're reducing
because of funding, because of just
the cost of putting on a show or a performance. Yep. It's ridiculous. So it's all being reduced.
So in order to have an opportunity to be one of those people that goes into that or steps into it, you've got to be able to do more than one thing. Yeah, you've got to have more strings to your bows. And you've seen this recently with some students, haven't you? You've been talking to about it.
And you look at it and people are going, well, I really want this particular role. And you can see them setting themselves up for that kind of role. But then you talk to all the teachers and around us, and we're constantly saying to them, that's fine, but that role will be suited for you maybe in about 10 years' time. And it'll suit you for a couple of years, but your contract may not be 2 years. And then what do you do beforehand whilst you're waiting for that role to become available to you?
And then what?
And
after
then
it's finished?
What do you do once that role's finished? What's going to sit either side? You've got to think about that bigger thing. How are you going to make yourself versatile so you can get any work? Whether it is ensemble work, whether it's session work, whether it is artists going in for a specific commission, or if they're going to be part of a bigger collaboration. All of those kind of things. How are you going to make it so that you have that versatility there, so that you can navigate the industry
and look after yourself?
And yes,
because there is this shift coming within the industry to think about the well-being of the performers and the creators and the content, but it's going to take a long time till really the industry really does and has the capacity to look after everybody as it should. So you as a person working within the creative industries needs to ensure you can support your well-being, and part of that is to open up the horizons, open up the possibilities, open up the different avenues that you might go down. Look at all of the hundreds of thousands of different jobs and routes that might not be that performing dream, but it's still something within that world that can add something to your skill set or a string to your bow. Because as soon as you've got that, and you've got a bit of stability, and you've got a bit of success, you've got a bit of money, you haven't got to worry about the bills getting paid or whatever. The other stuff tends to roll in a little bit more when you're not after it as hard as well, because you're more relaxed and open and honest when you go to those auditions. And I think when you go to we were talking about auditions as well, weren't we, in terms of how hard they are as well.
Oh goodness, it could be down to placement. It could be where you are, which line you're in. It can be down to that. It can be, oh, well, we've got this person that we've got this role here, but you're going to be too tall. We've had this conversation with a student the other day. She had brilliant feedback from the audition, but there was nothing wrong with her audition at all. She knows the person who got the male counterpart to the role she was going for. She's too tall to dance with him, and it can be down through that.
Yeah, 100. I had it the other day when I was chatting to a chap who'd on the other side, he'd got through and done amazing at all these different auditions, but the opposition role in the dance was too tall, so he was too short.
Yeah.
So it was just like, there was just no.
You don't, and it will differ every single time.
Yeah.
But having that ability to go for different roles, different parts, go somewhere else and maybe do some session singing, or having a different, complete perspective on it all. So I've got a student who's, instead of looking at West End work, is going, well, if I go on cruise ships in a couple of years, because of how the contracts work, I could have enough money to buy myself a flat outright, and then I don't need to worry. It's looking at changing your perspective on stuff.
Yeah, and I think all of this comes down to talking to people, educating yourself, talking to people who've gone through it, getting different people's points of views and perspectives, because you will find that certain people will have one view compared to another because they've had different experiences as well.
That can all put pressure on you as well, because you'll get a perspective from someone, perspective from someone else, and you go, well, where do I go? At which point you have to sit back and go, well, what feels right for me?
Yeah, what do you want? And it comes back to our whole your journey thing.
It's what's
your journey? What's important to you? What makes you tick?
Yeah,
and not what's valued or important to somebody else because that's the path that they took either. And that takes courage.
It does.
That's brave to be able to do that, but it's possible if you're looking after yourself through the process.
Very much. And you do need to take all those different perspectives on board and get all that different advice, because that's going to help you make those choices and those decisions. But ultimately, it's what feels right for you.
So there's the old saying that, what do we say? A tortured artist. The old thing of tortured artists and sitting and perfecting their craft. And I think we've just got to all shift away from that, wanting to perfect our craft, and maybe think about it in terms of the phrase evolving our craft of whatever it is.
Or striving for excellence in whatever we do, rather than striving or aiming for perfection.
Yeah, because that's never going to get there. No. It's always going to change, because what everybody else wants from you is always going to change. So evolve with it, look after yourself, take those times out, surround yourself with people that you can trust. You'll meet some people along the way that are going to give you bad advice, and that's also okay as well, because you learn from it. And it's being brave and trusting your gut as well sometimes about what's going on. So yeah, don't be a tortured artist. Do it your way, and it will become a lot easier.